Hello there and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be doing an unboxing and a spec overview of this. Actually, it's not going to be of this, it's going to be of this. And that is the DJI Pocket Osmo. I have finally been able to get my hands on it, and what I'm going to do in today's video is give you an overview of the specification and an unboxing. Yes, I know there are probably about 5,000 videos out there of unboxings of the Pocket Osmo, so I'm going to keep that nice and quick. We're going to have a quick look at what's in the package, what's included, give you an idea of the spec, what it can do, and over the next couple of weeks I'm going to be releasing a number of videos showing you guys how the unit works, what it does, and some of the things that you need to know. Now, one thing that caught me on this as soon as it arrived is just how small this is, and I haven't even opened this yet, but even the box is tiny. And to give you an idea, this is an iPhone XS Max, and you can just see how small the box is compared to that. But my god, this unit is very, very small. So the idea of these videos is going to be showing you what I think of it, how it works, and how you can use it, because I also think this unit from DJI, the Pocket Osmo, has a big market in vlogging and doing videos like this one that I am doing here today. Now, I'm recording this on a Panasonic GH5, but I'm also going to move over to using the Pocket Osmo for my next couple of videos as well. So give you guys an idea of what I think about it, because I do think it's a very, very good tool to have in the box. So let's get on with this video. Taking a closer look at the spec, the camera is a 0.5-inch CMOS sensor that is 12 megapixels. It has an 80-degree field of view with an f2.0 lens, giving you a roughly equivalent of 26mm. In both video and stills, it supports ISO of 100 to 3200, and it has an electronic shutter speed of up to 8 seconds. In stills, the maximum image size is 4000 by 3000 pixels. In video, it supports recording of up to 4K 60 frames a second, and in Full HD, you can record up to 120 frames a second. It allows you to select both 24 and 25 frames a second as well for both NTSC and PAL. It also supports 100 megabits a second recording in H.264, and that means you get the same high quality image that you get on the DJI Mavic Air. It supports both JPEG and JPEG in DNG, which is RAW, and it also supports MPEG-4 and movie formats. You can fit a maximum SD card of up to 256 gigabytes as well. Taking a look at the battery, it has a fixed lithium-ion polymer battery, which is 875 mAh at 7.7 volts. This should give you roughly 140 minutes runtime at 1080p, 30 frames a second, and charge time is about 73 minutes when using a 10-watt charger. Okay, so let's get on with the unboxing. Now, this is still in the cellophane wrap, so I haven't gone in yet. So what we're going to do is take a Stanley blade and run it along the top so I can get into the packaging, and then we're going to have a look what's included inside. Now, I've never opened one of these, so this is as much new for me as it is you. We don't need that. Then the wrapper, which runs around the outside, is actually stuck at the top and the bottom by the look of it with these nice little sticky tabs. And then that slides off just like that. Oh, okay, so what we get in the box, and we'll put that down a second just to make sure nothing falls out. Okay, you get some cards that say about the Osmo Shield, which is the DJI protection plan for your Pocket Osmo. So if you damage it out and about, they'll cover it. Very similar to the DJI Care Refresh for the aircraft. Very, very well worth a look, and there is a link in the description to order that for the Pocket Osmo if you want to do it. And then there's some information on the website and where to get support and where to get information from DJI. Okay, so when you get to the box, let's have a look, because as I said, I haven't seen it myself. And there it is. What we've then got is the Pocket Osmo on the right hand side, and then we've got the case on the left. So if we pop that out, they've hidden all of the accessories and the manuals in the case. That's very nicely done, if I'm honest. And then the Pocket Osmo is there itself. And you know what? I have held this once, however, it still shocks me how small this little gimbal is. It is absolutely tiny. It really, really is. Okay, just having a quick look over it. We do have a little screen at the top here, which is a touch screen. You have the record button, and you have another button there. You've got the LED, you've got a microphone slot. You've got your SD card slot on the side. Now, the Pocket Osmo does not come with an SD card, so you will need an SD card for this unit for recording. So if you're going to order one, please do make sure sure you do get one. You then have the back of the unit, which has the DJI logo written in down there, and then you've got the USB-C for charging on the bottom. Now this is USB-C. It is worth taking that into account. It is not normal micro USB. Pretty much everyone is moving over to this now, but it is worth taking that into account. It is amazing how small this unit is. Now, as I said, it is a 3-axis gimbal, so we've got the yaw, the pitch, and the rotation on the side there, and it is tiny. Just like everything from DJI, when it comes new, you get your stickers over the screen, and you've got your stickers over the camera as well. Just to give you an idea, just look how small that thing is. It is absolutely tiny. It really, really is. So they have really done a miracle with this, especially considering it's got the same type of camera that you've got on a Mavic Pro and a Mavic Air. It is incredible that they've been able to shrink that gimbal down to that size and have stabilized footage in a unit this small, and 100 megabits a second stabilized footage, no less. Okay, moving over to the rest of the package. I'm assuming we flip that open to get inside. So let's have a look what they include. You've then got your case, which we'll have a look at in a second. They gave us our usual set of manuals. So you've got the OSMO Pocket manual in various languages, as well as the disclaimer and safety guidelines. So you've got those two there. We have a nice little strap for putting through the Osmo, and that goes, where does that go? Oh, I'll have to have a look on the book on that one, because I'm not 100% sure myself, you know, actually, thinking about it. And then you have the package, which includes the cables and stuff. So let's have a look what we've got in here. Okay, so we have the connector for Lightning port, which is in the package. So I'm assuming it has got the USB-C, no? No, sorry, I missed that. That's the USB-C one, and that is the Lightning one. So as the package comes, it includes a connection for Apple iOS on Lightning and USB-C. So if your Android phone supports USB-C. If you have an Android phone that is micro USB, you will need to order the connector for that to connect it to your phone. Now, you don't have to use the phone, but you don't really get all of the functionality if you don't. So whilst you have got the Lightning for Apple guys, if you're an Android guy, make sure that if you've got a micro USB connection, you're going to need to order that separately. They also do include that USB-C charging cable, as I said about earlier as well, so you don't have to worry about buying a cable. They do include one with the package, and it is the normal USB connector. Now, as I said, the 73 minutes charge time is based on a 10-watt charger, not the usual smaller ones, so do check what the wattage of your charger is, and if it is a lower wattage, it is going to take longer. Okay, so to put the Pocket Osmo in its case, you've got to make sure it goes in the right way, first of all, because there is only one side it goes in. And the easiest way to figure that out is the front of the gimbal goes to the DJI logo. They do put a picture on the side as well if you get it wrong, like I did earlier on. However, you can simply just take your gimbal. The way it goes in is you've got to make sure your camera is tilted up on the side, just like that, and you slide it into the case, and it just drops in. You flip the handle around, and that's it, nice and protected. And that holds the Pocket Osmo. You can put it in your bag, you can put it in your case. Yes, it is open on that side, but the case is bigger than that. So if I put it down there, the Osmo still isn't hitting the table. It's not going to get damaged. It's going to give it quite a lot of protection as well if you drop it, because this is a hard case. Now, I wouldn't want to drop it under any circumstances. However, if you did drop it, you would have some protection on it. I've also spotted a strap point up here, so I'm assuming that's where this goes. I'll actually have a look in the instructions in a minute before I actually claim 100% that is correct. However, it most likely does go on there. So that's everything you get in the kit. Next, we're going to show you how to connect it up to your phone. Now, I'm going to be using Lightning on this because I am an Apple man, so I've got my iPhone XS, so we're going to be connecting it up to that, hooking it up to the app and having a look. Okay, so before you connect this up to your phone, you are going to need to download the DJI app. Now, this Pocket Osmo uses an entirely new app from DJI called Mimo. So you're going to need to download this either from the Android store or from the Apple store on iOS. So it's called DJI Mimo, M-I-M-O. So you just go on the App Store, find it, as I've done there, and download it to your phone, and it's ready to use. Now, before you connect it to your phone, you're going to need to put on the connector you want to use. So we're going to use Lightning, so we're going to get this one open here. Now, they ship it with a nice little cover in place just to protect the connections should you not want to put a phone connection on. So you simply slide that off, and then from the side, we simply just slide that across, and then that's the phone connection on. And then when you're not using it and you don't want to use that phone connection, you simply slide it back off and you can rotate it the other way. And then that means that there's nothing sticking out the side of the device when you're not using it. So you have the option of using it with or without the phone connector, but if you want to keep it on there, you can, and it's not going to be getting in the way when you're trying to use it normally without it. But for me, I'm going to need it on. So we're going to have to spin it round and slide it there. Next, I am going to peel off the little sticker off the glass. Now, I do keep these myself because I'm a little bit pedantic like that. However, as you can see, it's now clear and the screen is in view. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is turn it on. So we're going to press and hold the button, and then it comes up and shows us the DJI screen, and then it's asking us to select the language. Okay, so we're going to select English, and then the next thing it will say is not activated, and that is because I haven't actually connected it up to my phone yet. So the next thing we need to do with it is connect it up to my phone and complete the installation. Now, if you're wondering why the screen looks a little bit strange, it's because I've still got that cover sitting over the lens, look, over the top there. So I actually need to I need to actually take that off. There we go. And then it's showing the thing. So it's now come up with a message saying, device not activated, connect to DJI Mimo. So that's the next thing we're going to do. Okay, so I've got the DJI Mimo app open on my phone, and we're simply going to connect the Pocket Osmo to it. Now, there is one slight thing to be aware of. It won't connect with my phone case attached, so I do actually have to remove my phone case to attach it to the unit. We're simply going to plug it in the side like that. Now, this is a big phone, and then it's coming up asking me to agree to the terms and conditions. So we're going to do that. Yes. Log in. So it's now asking me to log in to my DJI account. So I'm just going to do that off screen a second. It's now come up saying activating. Now I've put my correct account details in, and we're just going to give that a second. It says during activation, do not exit the app interface. So we're just going to let it do that. These things usually don't take long. You usually only have a couple of seconds towards a minute. There we go. Activation success, Pocket Osmo, and then it's given us the option for the notice for beginners. Now, on that, they're saying you need to put an SD card in, okay? The next, they're telling us what the button does. Press and hold to power on and off. Press once to switch between video and photo, and press twice to recenter. Press 3 times to switch the camera between facing towards you and facing backwards. And again, that's very similar functionality than as you get on the Ronin S, so it's very, very similar. They're then showing the recording button, the option to control the gimbal on the screen, the option to move it about, the LEDs and microphones, because it's got 2 microphones on the Pocket Osmo. You've got one by here, and you've got a noise cancelling one down the bottom here. So the idea is that it's able to pick up the noises in the background and get rid of it. And that is it. So what it's saying now is it's asking me to download firmware, because obviously this one is brand new. So whenever you get something new like this, it is going to ask you to update the firmware. So do be aware of that before you do use it, because it is going to make sure, and you do want to make sure you're on the latest firmware with these units. You really, really do. So what I'm going to do is tell it to download that firmware, and we'll be back shortly. Just a tip whilst you're updating the firmware, you need to have an SD card installed or it won't allow you to do it. And it says it needs to have greater than 100 megabytes of available space. Now, I actually haven't put mine in yet, so I need to put it in before I carry on. So next, we're going to let it update the firmware on the device. As you can see, we've got it all set up and activated, and it is actually all now working. So it's now looking at the box over by there. And as you can see, I can move it around. And this is it with the camera mode, but you don't have to use it attached to your phone if you don't want to. You can simply use it as a standalone device as well, and use it via the on-screen, because the LCD does also give you your video as well. So if you want to just use it handheld, you can, but if you want to use it with your phone and have a lot more of the options, you can do that as well. In the last bit of this video, I'm just going to take you through the menus on this little screen, and then I'm going to do a totally separate video to show you the menus on here, because there are 2 very different things, and there's a lot more to explain on the app side of it than there is on the device itself. Okay, the final thing we're going to do is have a walkthrough of all of the menu options and settings on the Pocket Osmo. Now, most of this is all controlled by the touchscreen, with that button being back, and what you can do is select various functions and options. So, for instance, if you swipe from the left to the right, it'll show you what you've recorded on your SD card and what's available to play back. If you swipe from the right to the left, it gives us the photo options, the video options, slow-mo, time-lapse and pano. And for instance, I'm in video mode, so if I go into video, you swipe to the right, it gives you the option of setting the resolution, so 4K 16:9 or 1080p 16:9, and then I can set the frames per second, so I can scroll up to 60 frames a second or down to 25 frames a second, and if I go into 16:9, I can go up to 60 frames a second in 1080p if I wanted that as well. If you wanted the 120 frames a second, you've actually got to go into slow-mo. We're going to set it back to 25 frames a second in there. If we go down to the photo options, you've got the options then of setting the ratio, 16:9, 4:3 or 3:2, and setting countdown on whether you want it on a timer, just like on a normal camera. Next, you've got the option to swipe up from the bottom, and this gives us some quick options, and this allows us to reset the gimbal position just like double tapping that button there. If I swipe up again, it gives us the option to flip the gimbal round. You can see she's flipped round at the top there. That's again just like the triple tap on the button down there. You've then got sort of a sport mode, slow follow and fast follow, and that is how this gimbal reacts to the movement of the unit itself and how fast it dampens your movements. Finally, you've got the three options to control how the gimbal reacts in normal use, and you have the option of this is follow, tilt locked and FPV. FPV disables the roll axis on either side. So if I just tip it on the side there, you can see the gimbal's actually gone on its side. It's not correcting the side movement when I tip it. If I take it out of that mode into follow, you'll see it tries to correct. So you can see that it is actually correcting that movement now. When you move it into tilt locked, what tilt locked is this. If I tilt lock and point it forward, you can see that the camera tries to still point forward at this camera. If I take it out of tilt locked and move it back into follow mode, if I tilt it down, it looks down at the ground. So it's following the movement of the unit. So it depending on what you want the camera to do, depending on what setting you choose for that. The final option is the swipe down from the top, and this gives us the main overall options. You've got your main settings menu, which if you tap that, gives you the battery information, tilt control on and off, auto power off, calibration options, the SD card information, your anti-flicker options. If you've got accessories, it allows you to control them. And then you finally got the more option that allows you to reset the language, reset the whole device, or give you device info itself. You then scroll across and it allows you to change how the menu looks on the screen. So in that mode, if I come out completely, you can see that the overlay is hidden by the image itself. If I now pull down, swipe across and tap that, it moves the overlay into some black bars, which makes it a bit easier to see. So that is a nice option actually, and it just puts black bars tops and bottom around the image, so it means you're able to see some of the OSD information a little bit easier. You've then got, if I turn that off, AFS or AFC, which is the automatic focus control or the option to tap to focus. You've then got Pro settings, and in Pro settings is where it allows you to turn that on and set things like white balance and things. So if I turn that on, go back to the main screen, you see it says Pro at the top. So if I tap that, we've got the option to set the format from JPEG or RAW, or JPEG or JPEG plus RAW, change the exposure, the EV values, as well as change the white balance if we want to do that as well. And those options are only available when you have the Pro mode turned on. And you can turn it off again by swiping across, tapping Pro mode, and it is turned off. Flipping across to the end is where you can set the brightness of the screen. And it's nice and easy. You just tap it, tap it, tap it, and it allows you to change the brightness of the LCD screen. And that is the overall main options that you get on the device itself. And that is it for this video. Hopefully there's been some information that's been helpful. We've gone over what's included in the box and the basic functionality on the device itself. Over the next couple of videos, we're going to look at the app, the DJI Mimo app on the phone, and take you through its settings and options as well. And I'm going to try and give you some real-world usage on this, as well as showing you doing this very thing itself, and give you some opinions on what I think about it. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen, please do subscribe to the channel. There's a button in the bottom right hand corner, and by pressing that you'll receive updates on any videos that we release in the future. You can also order the Pocket Osmo from DJI, and there's a link to that in the description of this video, as well as the accessories that are available for it, and I'll tell you about them in another video again soon. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will do another video again soon.